all of you beautiful people watching another episode of OneMindZone Inspirational Conversations. Today I will have a cozy chat with Isabel Cuadra. She is not only my friend, but she is also a therapist of biological New Germanic medicine, neurological programmation, and hypnosis. We are going to speak about many aspects of these therapies, as well as we will dig deeper into understanding what is actually health, what is habits, emotions, thoughts, beliefs, and many other things. So please make a cup of tea and enjoy our chat with Isabel. Hello, Isabel. It is lovely to see you here this beautiful and sunny morning.
Hello, good morning, Yoga. Thank you for inviting me to this nice podcast, and it's a pleasure to share with you this morning.
I'm really happy to finally that we managed to have this recording and this conversation, because the 3 times that we had to cancel was a bit crazy. And actually now I think we are the living proof that the universe actually wanted to have us to have this chat. And so no matter, of course, how difficult it made to us, while preparing for this episode, I was trying to remember when exactly did we meet. And I thought that was probably around, I don't know, maybe 9 years ago or so.
Yes.
Through our common friend and through your sister. And this probably was, I try to remember, was it in Leipzig, in Treffen, or was that in Barcelona when I was coming to visit many times? But the only thing that I can always remember is like beautiful memories. Always, every time we met, beautiful conversations. I always remember your smile in the face. And I'm really happy to have you here now, really. And the time that when we met, you were a jewelry designer. And I remember you were always inspired by nature. So now you are a Germanic new medicine therapist and practitioner. So we'd like to hear a little more about your life and how did you get interested in Germanic new medicine, and as well explain to us on what concepts and teachings are based this therapy.
Okay, so, well, I was interested in New Germanic medicine since I was a little girl. I was not really conscious about this discipline, really. I was worried about my health because I had many problems as a child, like asthma, bronchitis. And as I grew older, I could understand that what was happening to me was some kind of thing that was psychosomatic. So I started reading all kinds of literature and the origin of diseases or dictionary of illnesses. And as I grew older, I became aware of the emotional origin of all these causes that made me get ill. But I didn't really get better. So it was like frustrating. And I spent many years going around doctors and trying to solve all my problems in an allopathic way, in an allopathic medicine way. But this didn't work really. So it made me feel worse because I was taking lots of medications such as cortisone, corticosteroids, and antibiotics. And this caused more inflammation and lots of side effects. So later on, my life changed in a worse way because I lived a traumatic event that I felt very down and very badly energetically. Mm-hmm. So I searched for ways to feel better and to understand what had happened to me and to find solutions. So I started studying Neuro Linguistic Programmation. That helped me very much. And after that, I felt stronger to introduce myself in New Germanic medicine, which started to change my beliefs about illness, about virus, about bacteria. And once you get to know New Germanic medicine, there is no return point. So it's a new paradigm of health and care. And about the question you asked me, what is New Germanic medicine? It is based on the studies of Dr. Rick Hammer, which was a genius. He was a theologian. He was an internist doctor of Munich University. And he was also an inventor of medical equipment and, well, lots of equipment. So his life changed dramatically when his son, Dirk Hammer, was shot with a gun. Wow. And yeah, it was a really dramatic event. And he spent 3 months in the hospital. And, well, after that, he died. So this was very hard for Dr. Hammer. And after this happened, some months later, Dr. Hammer and his wife were diagnosed, both of them, from cancer of gonads. So he thought, wow, this is a big coincidence. So he started to study in the hospital, all his patients and his customers, and he started to ask about the emotional origin that they were living. No? So what happened to you? What were you living about? And he started to write and investigate about this. So he discovered a direct relation between symptoms and biological conflicts. So these studies are based on the scientific criteria. It's his work is called the 5 biological laws, and they are applicable to practically all diseases known in medicine, verifiable in each patient's case. So this, since 1981, lots of the community of medicine has tested this many times. And, well, many associations also are supported and signed documents that have proved this reality. So to resume a bit, biological decoding explains that emotional and biological origin of the symptoms. So when you have a symptom, it is a biological program to adapt to that conflict that you are living, to which no solution has been provided or has been found. So the unconscious provides a biological solution, which we call symptom. Mm. And there is no external solution when the body seeks it, and then the unconscious makes like the changes, the physiological changes to give a solution and to salute this discomfort that you are living. So deciphering the secret code of the symptom makes us understand and to heal the unresolved emotional conflicts that you have lived. So in other words, my job is to decode the emotional origin of the symptom. Some symptoms have to do with a transgenerational, that it is an unconscious information that we have inherited from our ancestors, like beliefs, fears that prevent us from living the way we want. So, such as also uterine memories or parents' projects that are conditioning factors that block the way we want to live. So that makes us aware, and it's half the way of my work to be conscious about this. I don't know if I have been clear about my New Germanic Medic.
We will dig deeper to make it even more clear, everything. But then I'm curious, how do the scientific and the medical communities view Germanic New Medicine?
Yes, well, first of all, I want to say that New Germanic Medicine is not a substitute for any medical treatment. So it is totally complementary and absolutely a friendship, no? We can build a friendship with that. Conventional and allopathic medicine absolutely denies the evidence of the system proposed by Dr. Hammer. So, because he reveals that the symptom appears to give a solution and it's, from my point of view, allopathic medicine proposes to attack the symptom, to cover it up,
exactly,
to deepen it, and above all, to feel the pain. So this is not a biological thing, no? The pain, the discomfort, the symptom comes to give us a message.
Exactly.
It is a very valuable information that we cannot ignore or silence. So pills, drugs are quick methods that help us to avoid the peaks of intense pain. But it has come a normalized issue, no? And we every day take like pills to stop feeling the pain, no? And it becomes very normal in everyday's life, no? In our everyday's life.
Exactly.
So this disconnects us absolutely and makes us late to drugs. And because we don't want to go through the invitation of life to let ourselves go through the pain and becoming aware of what is behind it and the message that is so valuable behind it. So, well, and also from my point of view, chronic diseases, it's not the same as having an accident or a quick imminent need of a treatment, like if you break your leg or your hand, no? Chronic autoimmune diseases do not have a quick fix as they've been built up for over time.
Yeah.
So the person who makes real changes in their way of life, their habits, their nutrition, their thoughts and their beliefs manages to make a transformation that in many cases the disease no longer has a place. So moreover, I firmly believe that medicine has a very important role to play in our society, and we should encourage research and development as we have done so far. But from my point of view, we should integrate natural medicines with allopathic medicine to create a unity to illness and to heal people from the inner and the outer side.
Yeah, this is also, I've been speaking with the different guests before about similar topic about that the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies is actually more interested in the person being sick all the time and just being wanting to fix in a short way, just as you say, to prescribe the pill to kill the pain, to prescribe the pill to, I don't know, to get rid of the symptoms of the pressure, the stuff, but the root of the cause is still there. And no
Exactly.
one, I mean, it's not in their interest that the person would dig deeper. So it's not, no wonder that they actually, in many cases, they don't even want to accept this type of the therapies.
Exactly. The origin is inside, and in lots of beliefs and lots of trauma that is from childhood. Exactly. So really, we have to be conscious of that. So you can take a pill if the pain is really, really hard, absolutely. But you have to be conscious that that has an origin. So just it's that's why I say we have to work together, and you can go to medicine, to allopathic medicine, and that is great. So you have a correct treatment, but also just go to a therapist, some help. There are many ways to go to therapy. I mean, but it's very important to take care of that, the origin of the symptom, no?
Do you believe that we will indeed have a new medicine that will be approved by this like traditional communities of the doctors at some point in the future?
Well, I really hope so. And this information is getting more and more known and defunded. So I hope that yes, but for now on, that is not a reality. But well, I hope in the future will be more and more known.
When you explained about in the beginning about the whole concept of the Germanic New Medicine, you also mentioned the neurological programming. Explain to everyone more deeper what neurological programming is and what are the benefits of it.
Well, neurological programming uses behavioral and communication techniques. There are strategies to enable people to change their thoughts and actions in favor to lead them to get better results and success. It is a technique that helps us to reprogram our brain and to overcome our blockages, anxieties, through new patterns of behavior and communication, and both internally or externally, so with oneself and towards others too.
And so, because I try to imagine how does it work in a session, in a therapy session with a person, how specifically does this reprogramming work?
Yes, I use some techniques such as calibration, or I don't know if this is a correct word in English, but it's called calibrate, that I calibrate and accurately observe the status of the client by attending, for example, the body language. So this is a very important point of neuroprogrammation. Also, I use the rapport and the syntony, that is a relation that we create. It's like a relationship of mutual trust and understanding, and it allows the responses to become and to generate, to get generated. No. Other things that I use is predicates, that it's the VAC system, that it's like sensory based words that take us to the consciousness of the representative system, used as visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So the person can be transported to all this and incorporate and make it like flesh and bones. No. Also, and my favorite technique is the anchoring. That is a process with which is stimulus and representation, for example, made by symbols that are connected to triggers. And then it's like visual, also auditory and kinesthetic anchors that can make us change to positive reactions, and can be, for example, spontaneous or deliberate, placed by that desired response. So if I want to be calm or in peace or secure, I can anchor that in my subconscious in a way that can make me feel like secure, comfort, peace, calm. So for example, I will tell you maybe an example because maybe it's not so clear. Once anchorings that I do with myself is when I create a symbol that makes me feel secure, for example, in moments that I feel bad. So for example, one symbol I made was a circle, a blue circle, and with one word inside. So I put this circle in my house, and every time I go to the toilet or I looked in the mirror or I cook, I can know that that symbol is a representation of some anchoring I made someday. And that makes me feel calm, in peace, secure, and in comfort. So it's like an image, kind of. A reminder that takes you exactly to the unconscious. And it's like very helpful in cases there is trauma, or there is a work with childhood trauma.
So I can also imagine all this kind of work works through, you work through a lot of questioning, no, as well, going deeper into person's life and really into the past, no?
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. Well, the trauma normally is in the childhood, so well, it's we have to go there to give light to what happened, no? Absolutely.
Also, as I understand, the neurological programming is all about getting to the unconscious and doing the reprogramming there, right?
Yes.
So how it is different from the hypnosis?
Yes, and neuro-linguistic programming is a much more conscious state. So we work in a conscious state, in a waking state. Hypnosis is in a major brainwave change. So hypnosis, we work with the deeper layers of unconscious, where brainwaves are changed. During the day, when we are awake, we are in beta. We are excited. So we could work in neuroprogramming with beta waves, and alpha, when we are relaxed or when we meditate. This is a start of hypnosis state. We close our eyes and we start to induce this alpha waves. Then the waves change to theta, which is the state before sleep or hypnotic state. So this is a big difference because for me, hypnosis is much more profound and makes much more profound changes. You can even reach delta, which is the state which we surrender to sleep. And it depends to suggestibility of the person and other factors related to surrender and the desire for the transformation. So this is a very important point, the desire of the client.
And what are the most powerful changes you can make to the client during these hypnosis sessions?
Well, first of all, this is important that you know this, that I don't make any changes. I don't heal or cure anyone. My job is to go hand in hand with people who want to transform a symptom. They make these changes. I only accompany them, and the symptoms, to make the symptoms be conscious of the symptoms in a physical or emotional way. So these changes can be very varied, as, for example, they can change their behavior, a belief, a habit, and suddenly, for example, they don't feel like being self-destructive, or they start to socialize, to have a relationship with a couple. For example, from the way you start to eat, the change you make in your style of food, also the way they sleep, depending on what is being worked on. But and it depends on the symptom, on what is the work we have to do, but there are more profound or less profound changes. But there is a change, absolutely, always.
Sometime you also were telling me about the psychodrama. So I also want to know, what is the psychodrama and how does it also differ from the typical therapy? And can you describe a typical session of the psychodrama?
Yes, of course. Well, psychodrama is a psychotherapeutic technique that consists of making patients represent, as it was a play, like to work with situations related to their pathological conflicts, with the aim of making them aware of them and overcoming them. So I work with dolls, with papers, with cushions, or any tool that serves to the therapeutic purpose, depending on the symptom. So I use techniques depending in what is worked on. So it's a theatrical representation. The unconscious has made many ways that we can reach it. It has many paths to enter inside, no? And it is kind of hypnosis, but conscious, like playing. And when you see what is in front of you, you can understand what is happening to your life. I will give you an example, so maybe you can understand better. I had a client that in his life, he was not allowed to have a partner, to have a couple. He couldn't fall in love. He was always breaking. When it was like 1 month, 2 months, and he wasn't so in love, but he always break, or the partner break with him. So in the therapy, we found out that his family gave him a mandate. When he was a child, he was told that falling in love was dangerous. Wow. Because his grandfather was shot for falling in love. His grandfather was shot because he fell in love with a woman of a soldier. Wow. This soldier was of the contrary band, and he was shot because of that. So imagine, all the family had in their unconscious the idea that falling in love was dangerous. So their parents were separated. They had him and they were separated. So imagine, no, what's so strong and so hard. So I put some puppets, and the characters started to overcome. And it was like impossible. They didn't want to get together. They were like looking to the contrary parts. And we started working on this, and what is happening? How do you feel? And the client remembered in that moment, wow, this happened to my grandfather, wow. And he understood that it was a mandate, an unconscious mandate, of course, but it was a mandate. So in the months later on, he phoned me and he told me that he was in a group meeting people, that he was impossible for him, and he was like knowing a girl, and he was so happy about this, because by the moment he was not in a relationship, but he noticed the changes about and he wanted to go like very slowly to feel like secure. But I mean, you never know, no? And we are so unconscious of the things that happen to us. So, and it's like this directs your life in a so strong way.
Totally.
And you can't imagine that maybe it's your grandfathers or your moreover ancestors that are conditioning your life, no?
Totally.
So yeah, there's lots of information in our ancestors tree.
That also, this reminds me a lot. I had maybe 1 year ago or something, the podcast with the therapist Clara Palau from Mallorca, and she was speaking about the family constellations. So this is kind of similar ideas, and instead of that family constellations were happening with another people, the group of people that you could choose another person to represent your, I don't know, your father, mother, maybe even dead, as you say, your grandparents or even the grandparents, and to really digging and finding the root of that block.
Yes, well, it's actually it's the same. I mean, well, we call it differently, no? Constellations is in a group of people, as you said, and it's a very powerful work that also goes directly to the unconscious, and it's very transformative. I had really had very hard experiences with constellations that had changed many programs in my life. So I really recommend constellations too. But this is a way to work like one-by-one therapy, like a kind of constellations, but we put the role play characters, and the client, the customer starts moving them. So the energy is the same. And psychodrama also has lots of areas to explore. Like, for example, you can make, I don't know, like, for example, make some experiences that can be very strong for you. Like, for example, I don't want to expend money, and maybe in a therapy of psychodrama, we like make a therapy that it's like you have to pay money to people or give money to a person in the street, and you start giving him 50 euros, and for that the person is really hard and really a very challenging thing, no? So it's all kinds of things that can make a change in your unconscious, and it's just an example to serve to the therapeutic propose that we have.
Okay, and what you would say, what are kind of like the biggest individual benefits can bring such a role play?
Yes, when there's an inner situation that is not made conscious, it appears outside as fate. So that is a Carl Jung phrase, no? And the unconscious is made conscious by putting it represented in front of the client. So the client becomes aware of the things that has not been included, that were silenced, that were not conscious. So we give space to these parts that are hidden, to these inner shadows that are following us in our mental consciousness, and this in itself, it's transformative. So it's a way of seeing and represent what is happening in your life. And this is like life-changing, because you can make a new paradigm and a new change of your life just by being conscious. So it's a really cool work.
What are some of the biggest problems, obstacles, and challenges that you can help people to overcome in general?
Yes, well, I am specialized in symptoms, illnesses, and pathology. So in my opinion, medicine approaches, as I said before, to the symptom from the point of view that we have to cover up the symptom, we have to fix it, and it doesn't teach us to listen to it, to give it a place, and above all, a purpose. So this is what I like the most, because it gives a place to what is happening, no? To hear, to listen the body. And this is what I also think, that the phenomenological work gives us a lot of information. And although I work a lot with trauma and grief or couple or life project, in fact, my work is based on transforming patterns and behaviors that you don't control, to give them a new meaning and to change the way of life that leads you to this behavior.
How does your life as a psychotherapy practitioner influence your life as an artist, jeweler?
Yes, well, nowadays I don't work much with jewelry, and I work in a consulting room, and that is my job now. And I am still training and studying as a Gestalt therapist. So I have now put my jewelry on the back burner for the time being. But although I am sure that I will find a way to bring it all together in the future and integrate it somehow, no? But it's like some part of my heart is there. But for now, I'm so in love with this new project, this new way of life, of thinking, of believing that, well, for the moment, it's separate, but in the future, I will integrate it for sure.
I really hope so.
Yes. Well, in fact, about psychodrama, there's many symbols that we can make. So you can wear them as a jeweler, as a jewel, and you can remind, as I told you before about the anchoring, you remember about the circle, this symbol. So we can make these symbols to wear. So I was thinking about this. It's very interesting that you can anchor a symbol and it makes you like remember all the work you have done. No? So well.
So
that's
there are many future projects coming up.
Yeah, sure. Well, not now, but I have to integrate. When I finish Gestalt, I think it will be the moment. But it's still, I'm now in second year, so I have to wait a bit yet.
And let's go now for the end, last part of the podcast, for the 3 last questions that I always ask to all of my guests, because these are the questions what people like to know about all of the all of the guests. What does your morning routine look like?
Yes, in the morning when I wake up, I start by giving thanks in a short meditation in the bed. I just close my eyes and start giving thank you. I just repeat the word thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's a short meditation of gratitude that it's an exercise that my teacher and my therapist, it's the same. She taught me, and I am very grateful for this because my life has changed with this. My kind of energy for starting the day has changed. And I start the day with more light and motivation and much more gratitude. And I see another color of the day. So for me, it's wonderful. And I practice it absolutely every day. Then I go to the gym some days and so it depends, not every single day, but I go to gym and that makes me energy and to strengthen face the day. And then I have breakfast and start my working day.
Beautiful. And of course, when you start with a thankful, with a gratitude in the morning, it's like you start appreciating, I guess, everything what you have in your life and forgetting the old problems, no?
Yes, and I feel more conscious, no, about all the wonderful things I have. When I didn't do this exercise, I realized that I was always like, oh, I don't have this. I don't have this in my life. I need this. I have to solve these problems, no? And in the end, when you give thanks and you are thankful and grateful, it's like you are conscious of all you really have. So it makes a difference on your state of mind, your energy, how your day starts is absolutely life-changing.
It's funny because I also have seen one of the influencer speaker that is also promoting a lot the Buddhism and the mindfulness and conscious way of living, and I also really liked his idea in the morning that he was saying just he always has the note and the pen at his bed, and he said every morning I wake up and I write 3 things what I'm thankful for. And it's kind of in a similar way, just focus on what are you thankful for. Don't think about what you don't have, just what you're thankful for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I also believe that you are thankful for the things that will come, that you will not having now. So it's kind of way of giving thank you for what will come.
Yes.
And I love that idea, you know, it's like, thank you, because the future will be perfect for me. So
exactly.
It really makes me feel like faith and love around me.
Exactly. And tell me, is there any book that helped you improve over the years?
Yes, absolutely. This book is a life-changing book for me. And it's from Don Richardson and Russ Hudson, called The Wisdom of the Enneagram. Well, I have it in Spanish, but this book, I don't know the translation. I think it will be the same, but this book has helped me to understand myself, my wound, my strengths, my weaknesses, as well as the other 9 Ennea types. So I realized that the Enneagram is a powerful tool for self-knowledge, and as a therapist, it's so important to know the psychological types and to make your spiritual development. Is really a cool book. It's very big, but it's life-changing.
I will ask you to send me the link so I can share also in the description and the YouTube. So in case people want to read, they can also get it.
Great. Okay.
And what are you currently most passionate about?
Well, yes, absolutely. As I explained before, I am doing Gestalt therapy nowadays, and I am in love with this perspective. It's a transformative journey. It's a hard journey because Gestalt is teaching me and helping to accompany others, but based in the presence, in the awareness, in listening, and feeling the energy also, like listening and just like how I feel your body, to listen in another ways, like body with body, no? And here and the here and now, the present, and the understanding that what emerges in the present, it's like a phenomenological field that we can be very powerful when we like tune into that frequency and understand very much what is feeling the other person. So I can be very receptive. One thing as a therapist is like, you need to change this. And this is not like the way, no? Yeah. I think that you need that, but do I feel what you are feeling now? That you are feeling so alone or so sad. So I start to like perceive and tune into your energy, in the patient's energy, in the client's energy, and understand that this suffering is so hard for that person. So I can be like more empathic and much more responsible as a therapist. I think this is really, really important. And the Gestalt is also a process of auto-discovering, and it's so mind-blowing in many, many ways. So I mostly cry many times. I leave my class because it's like a destruction of the ego. And well, it's a bit kind of hard, but as a therapist, it's changing my understanding of how to be with a customer, how to communicate, how to perceive the field that is between us and this relationship. And in the future, my idea is to integrate all the disciplines in which I'm training to be able to apply them to the therapy and help heal from the different therapeutic tools. So I think we need to return to a simple perception, to the immediate experience, and believe in a sense of wholeness. All the bodies we have, no? The mind, the spirit, the body. So all these bodies have to get integrate and make a wholeness of this, no? And I think the meeting of the two personalities is like a contact of two chemical substance, that there is a reaction, that both of them are being transformed and being changed, no? Yeah. So when I help you, I am being helped too. So that's what I love and feel so passionate about this.
Exactly. It's like never ending learning journey for both sides, as you say.
Yeah.
And if your client feels better, you also feel better.
Absolutely. And I learned so much, and also touches me emotionally. And it's like, well, you create a relationship where you learn, where you feel like, but also with a thing that you have to be helping without being too much affected. No?
Exactly. You have to have a boundary at some point. Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of an equilibrium, and well, I'm learning on it yet, and I'm so happy and so in love with this new discipline too, and trying to integrate everything. So, well,
it's very interesting that you say, because I actually feel totally the same way after the session with my client. I am the happiest person in my life. You
yes,
know,
absolutely.
even though no matter how long or hard the session was, in the end of the session, I'm smiling with a big smile in my face. My heart is singing, and I feel like I'm so just happy and elevated just for that I had the chance to somehow help and dig deeper. And because in the end, that also works, like, as you say, other way around. It's another therapy for me.
Absolutely.
For my own growth.
I feel so much energy and so happy, and so like, oh, life is wonderful.
Exactly.
So it's a big present, no, for us too. So I think it's a present to now can make my professional direction in this way. Exactly. So I'm really, really grateful too.
And so tell to the people, the ones who wants to get your help or your advice, how can they find you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me in my website, elorigendelsintoma.com. And well, you have also my social media, Instagram or Facebook in the same name, El Origen del Síntoma, and or in my WhatsApp phone that well, you can give also maybe in the
I can put it in the description.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I make sessions that can make you be conscious of what is happening to you, no? And normally when there's a symptom that is coming to you, it's because there's a message after that, no? So it's a life-changing process to discover yourself and to listen to yourself, to give you that opportunity to feel and to start listening to your real body, your real unconscious.
Wonderful. Isabel, looks like we came to the end.
Oh.
I cannot believe we made it.
Yeah, absolutely. In the end, we made it.
In the end, we made it with many distractions in between, but we made it.
Absolutely. But now I'm so happy we did it. So
exactly. You will see the whole day today, you will have the same effect as you after having the session with your client. You will smile.
Exactly.
At least every time after the podcast, I have this effect with a smile in my face.
Yeah, we accomplished it. Yeah.
Isabel, thank you so much for agreeing to be here, for giving so much information. And actually now I'm thinking I would like to speak for another hour more, to just like to dig it even deeper to all of these things. And this is really mind-blowing, and this is very interesting therapy you're doing. And I wish you all of the best, and continuing with your studies, continuing with the development of your career. And wow, I really hope we can have a talk another time, and you can share more of the things you're learning about.
Yes, of course. You know, it's a pleasure always to speak with you. When we start chatting, there's no time.
Stop.
The watch is stopping. So for me, whenever you wish, I am here. Absolutely, Yoa. And thank you very much for this nice chat. It is a real pleasure, and to share with you this personal development. And I also am very inspired about you and your podcast and all your work, and the conscious living consciousness that you are giving also to people. So it's a very nice conversation, and I loved it. Thank you very much, Yoa.
More people like us, we have to speak more about these things, so then we will probably see the changes coming more faster in this planet and around us and everywhere.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
this is very important as
Yeah.
we need people to be aware of themselves. We need people to a bit wake up and to realize actually where they are, what are they doing, what is going on with their lives.
Absolutely, to give consciousness in the end. But I think every day more and more it's more known, all this world, no, in different areas, but I think it's kind of growing fastly. No?
And especially with all of this, let's say this whole COVID situation, that people also had time to stay at home, be quiet. They became interested in many different ways of
Absolutely.
being.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some friends of mine that never wanted to think about like spiritual path. And now they say, oh, do you recommend me some books? And how about the Enneagram that you always speak about? And, you know, all these things that are like, wow, now you're, but of course, when you are in a traumatic condition or situation, of course, you need to give a solution to all these problems, no? And to understand a bit. So I think humanity, the world will make a change in the future,
because the trauma is the first step of healing.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that phrase. Yeah. Absolutely true. Yeah.
And with this thought, we're going to finish this episode. Thank you so much for everyone who was watching this episode. I'm sure you learned so much with Isabel. And if you have any other questions or you want to solve any kinds of the problems, please contact her. I will leave all of the contacts below in the description. And thank you for watching us, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.